This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. First tonight, we've made it through a cold week on the Suncoast, but it's not over quite yet. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with a look at the forecast for the weekend ahead. Bob?
Jacqueline, let's hope this is the coldest week of the season, but right now temperatures are dropping. 44 degrees right now at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. It's 32 freezing now in Jacksonville, 30 in Tallahassee, and it looks as though the winds are not all that strong, so there is no wind chill at this point. It's 44 degrees. Winds are calm at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. 53 in Miami and 32 again. It feels like that there. Pensacola at 30 degrees. What's happening is high pressure is moving right over the top of us, so that usually brings our winds down, and so there's no wind chill advisory in effect, but there are some freeze warnings to the north of our particular area, the area in dark blue that you see there. That is a hard freeze, meaning temperatures will go below 27 degrees for a couple of hours at least from Gainesville there northward, and then a little less than that to the south of that area. Winds are very light right now out of the north and northeast, anywhere from say around 3 miles an hour to calm at points, and looks as though similar conditions throughout Charlotte County, although a little bit stronger near the coast. Venice now at 6 miles an hour out of the northeast at this time. So we still have that northerly component. The winds will eventually veer around more to an easterly direction beginning Sunday, and that will have a tendency to warm us up. The dew point temperature has popped up a little bit to 35 degrees. Humidity now at 71%. There's that calm wind now, and the barometer is extremely high, 30.39 inches. That continues to rise at this hour as that high pressure ridge continues to build in. Well, the futurecast is calling for some high thin clouds to be around overnight. But we should see plenty of sunshine throughout the day on Saturday. These cirrus clouds made for a spectacular sunset this evening along the Suncoast. We have some incredible photos to show you in just a few minutes. We'll show you those in just a few. Back to you, Jacqueline.
All right, they certainly were great. Thank you so much, Bob. More women continue to come forward claiming sexual abuse against big names in Hollywood, and now several women say they were assaulted by Tony Award-winning actor Ben Vereen while he was directing a production right here on the Suncoast. One actress says she worked with Vereen while he was directing Hair at the Venice Theater. She claims Vereen invited her and several other women to his rental home on several occasions, forcing himself on them and then threatening her.
He said, "I want you to kiss me," and I said, I do not want to kiss you, and then he reached around the back of my head and pressed my face towards it and kissed me.
Vereen has released a statement on his Facebook page apologizing for his actions and says he will come to terms with his past conduct. For years, Florida's leaders, both Republican and Democrat, have been opposed to offshore drilling off the coast of Florida. But tonight, the Trump administration is announcing plans to do just that. The plan proposes opening 90% of the outer continental shelf to drilling exploration, including the majority of the eastern Gulf of Mexico for the first time since 1988. Those behind the plan in Washington say it could be a huge boost to our country's economy and help reach the goal of energy independence. But locally, we're already seeing some pushback.
You felt horrible for the people in the Panhandle, but it's terrible. You were thinking, please keep it up there. Don't let it take the whole coast of Florida.
The outer continental shelf is under federal jurisdiction and outside of state law. New details in the Pulse nightclub shooting investigation. Investigators say the widow of the man who killed dozens of people in that mass shooting knew that her husband was going to do something bad before the attack. The Orlando Sentinel reports that a statement written by an FBI agent and signed by Noor Salman, his wife, says that she was in denial that her husband, Omar Mateen, could hurt other people when he left their home with guns and ammunition. Salman faces charges of aiding a terrorist organization and obstruction of justice. Salman's attorneys and federal prosecutors continued a hearing today to discuss whether sealed evidence and an expert witness's testimony should be allowed at her trial in March. Florida officials say hackers may have accessed the personal information and medical records of up to 30,000 Medicaid recipients 2 months ago. This evening, the state's Agency for Healthcare Administration said in a news release that one of its employees was the victim of a malicious phishing email in November. An investigation found that hackers may have partly or fully accessed the enrollees' full names, Medicaid ID numbers, birth dates, addresses, medical conditions, and Social Security numbers. The agency agency said it has no reason to believe this information has been misused. But enrollees can call an agency hotline at 844-749-8327. Meanwhile, the agency said it's training all employees to proper security protocol. Well, some small cottages are starting to pop up around the Tampa area, and it's something that we could see more of in Sarasota and Manatee County. ABC7's Rick Adams has more on this tonight from Clearwater.
Well, these so-called granny cottages continues to be part of a growing trend, so don't be too surprised if you see one of these in your neighbor's backyard sometime soon. When 80-year-old Sheila DeSanto wanted to downsize, she didn't mess around. DeSanto ended up having a nearly 400-square-foot cottage built in the backyard of her son's Clearwater home.
I think the small size is a big advantage as far as maintenance and cleaning and picking up and keeping track of everything.
The cottages feature a living room, bedroom, bathroom, a little kitchen area, closet space, and a porch out front. DeSanto says the cottage gives her independence where she has her own private space, and her son and his family are just feet away if she needs anything.
It's very nice. I suppose it wouldn't be so nice if you didn't get along. But I've got 3 kids that are all in the area. They all get along. I get along with them, so it works out really well.
The mastermind behind these granny cottages is Henry Mosley, president of the Goldsboro Company. Mosley tells us these cottages are especially ideal for family members who want to remain very close to an elderly parent.
They sound small, really small, but they're not. They're actually much bigger than you might expect. And they're just packed full of amenities and very high-tech. They're very energy-efficient buildings.
Joe DeSanto, Sheila's son, says he's thrilled they've decided to go this direction.
With our busy lives, we see her every day, and that's fantastic. And you know, we can keep an eye on her, but she's still, you know, herself out here and has all her autonomy and does what she wants.
There are different rules for the different cities regarding these granny cottages. For instance, in Clearwater, the cottage has to be attached to the home, but in other cities, they can be detached in the backyard of the property. Mosley says both Sarasota and Manatee counties do allow these types of cottages. Price tag ranges from $55,000 to $110,000. DeSanto tells us she couldn't be any happier with her cottage.
Absolutely. I have no regrets.
And to find out more about these granny cottages, you can log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting from Clearwater, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, thank you so much, Rick. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus why a popular airline is giving its employees millions of dollars in bonuses, and the major security flaw with Apple products that the company hid for months.
On the next Black Almanac.
As a community, we commemorate Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement, the legacy of discrimination that preceded it, the courage of those who stood up to it, and the progress the nation achieved through it, and the unfinished pursuit of equal rights that continues to this day.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC7.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
So you were just mentioning music on Maine. Not
Right.
great as a turnout as we've seen in the past, but
Right.
I mean a little chillier.
Yeah,
so
there were
it's
no
still
lines
nice
for the
out.
free ice cream. I tell you that, it was really
There you
quick.
go.
Boom, in and out.
And hot chocolate, right?
Hot chocolate was being
Okay.
served, yeah, although it was pretty cool once you got it because the things are chilly out there. But a lot of people dancing, you know, keeping the blood flowing there to keep them warm. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great time out there. And Rockin' Robin was playing, of course, and the retros there. Nice night. Look at this unbelievable sunset tonight. We have photos sent in from all over the place. It was one of those beautiful, spectacular sunsets you cannot imagine with those high cirrus clouds moving in, creating this spectacular shot that you see right there. And I didn't get a chance to see it live because I was out there at Music on Main, but boy, a lot of photos sent in of this spectacular sunset. And here they are. This one from Simon Williams, spectacular. It looks like almost someone made that up. That's not right, but that's actually what happened up there in Sarasota Bay. Calm conditions and just enough clouds around to create that. There's Sarasota Bay, Mr. Robinson sending this one in, and this one from Dana. And you can get a look at that from Whitfield Estates. A beautiful sunset it is. And, of course, you can't go without hearing from Norm Schimmel, getting this one up there. Looking again off toward the bay. High pressure is dominating our weather right now. High pressure moving in from the west, and as it gets closer to us, the winds really die down, and that's what's happening right now, and which is allowing us to see these calm conditions. And temperatures are dropping though rather rapidly down into the mid 40s here. We're expecting lows into the upper 30s to low 40s across the region. So one more night of really cold air. It will be cool tomorrow night. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to go away that soon, but by Monday, we'll be above average, and it'll stay that way, too, throughout much of the work week. I know a round of applause there. I met some people at Lakewood Ranch tonight at Music on Main. They had been down for just this week for vacation, and they weren't too happy about it. But, again, things are going to warm up next week. If you're going to stick around for another week, it's good news. Hard freeze in effect where you see the dark blue. Light blue is a freeze warning. And as far as the weather headlines, they read like this. Temperatures will be very chilly throughout the day. Highs will only be in the low 60s, but at least we'll get in the 60s for highs on Saturday. We've been in the 50s all week long. And then finally into the 70s on Sunday. Now, the beaches may see highs in the upper 60s there, but it'll be close enough to 70. You'll say, wow, this is a warming trend. And then warmer throughout the work week with high temperatures back into the mid 70s we go. 44 degrees right now. And the winds are calm. The pressure 30, 39. That continues to rise. And the dew point temperature has actually come up a little bit since the earlier reading at 6 o'clock. The high today was only 58 degrees. 71 is our average. And the record high, 84, set back in 2007. And no rainfall to report. We'll stay dry until maybe Monday afternoon. There's a chance for a few showers coming back into play. A little disruptive weather expected to move in. Another cold front is headed our way, but don't worry, this next cold front is going to fizzle out before it reaches us, so it won't cool things down all that much. Temperatures into the 30s, near 32 in Jacksonville, 44 in Venice, 40 in Northport, 39 already in Arcadia, and Sebring at 45. The forecast tomorrow, there it is, finally 60 degrees. That'll seem quite warm considering what we've had over the past several days right now, but still well below the average. And the futurecast calling for some high clouds to move around now and again, but generally sunny skies throughout the day on Saturday. Sunday, we'll get that easterly wind that will tend to warm us up, and it looks as though that major winter storm over the northeast is now bringing in extreme cold. Boston 7, Toronto -2. Met some people from Toronto today as well, and feels like -23 there. Not bad, huh? No, -12. That's just incredible. -12 in Chicago, and highs tomorrow Finally getting into the teens in Chicago, 22 or 28 in Kansas City. Well, for boaters tomorrow, we'll start off a bit brisk. Northeast winds at 15 knots. Small craft should exercise caution. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet with a moderate chop out there. Tides upcoming. Low tide will be at 10:40 and a high tide will be at 4:53 tomorrow afternoon. Tonight, mostly fair. Some high clouds, wind chill right around 30, mid-30s to upper 30s for lows. Tomorrow, the chills in the 30-degree range right tomorrow morning. Then we'll warm up to around 61. The extended forecast calling for 62 inland, 70 on Sunday, and then look at that, back into the mid-70s. So we had 1 week of winter, it looks like. Jacqueline, that's it. Back to you.
All right, I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that warmer weather. Thank you, Bob. Well, let's get some more details on that massive and deadly winter storm slamming into the east. ABC's Maggie Ruley is outside in Central Park with the latest.
Millions of Americans still chiseling out from a powerful nor'easter are now bracing for record-breaking cold.
It's brutal. Stay inside. It's bad out here.
Authorities warning people to stay inside, with wind chills approaching negative 50s in parts of New England, freezing over cities already walloped by yesterday's storm. Boston announcing it broke the record for the highest tide ever recorded in the city's history.
If anyone wants to question global warming, just see where the flood zones are. Those zones didn't flood 30 years ago.
Freezing floods that turned into life or death, with dozens of rescues along the Massachusetts coast.
There was like cars outside almost completely underwater, and there was water coming in the back door.
And firefighters battling fire and ice at this house fire in New Jersey. As millions try to shovel out, the relentless cold kept many schools shut for a second straight day. Others, like these students in New York, forced to brave the elements. But not everyone is hating this cold.
Can you guys believe he's in shorts? This is crazy!
Then we saw plenty of cross-country skiers taking advantage of their chance to ski in the middle of Manhattan.
This is magic to me, pure magic. I never get tired of it.
How is Pepper doing in the cold? Hi, Pepper.
Unfortunately, Pepper likes it.
The cold even seemed to give Pepper an extra pep in his step.
And it is not over yet. It's supposed to be even colder Saturday and Sunday. There is a bit of good news. We're supposed to start warming up next week. Maggie Ruley, ABC News, New York.
2 senior Republican lawmakers are asking for a criminal investigation of the man who wrote the Trump dossier. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley and Subcommittee Chair Lindsey Graham are referring Christopher Steele, a former British spy, to the Justice Department. They say Steele made potentially false statements in the dossier, a collection of memos claiming collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Grassley says investigators need to address the inconsistencies. Meanwhile, U.S. investigators have corroborated some aspects, specifically that some of the communications among foreign nationals actually took place. President Donald Trump has dismissed the memos as, quote, totally made up stuff. And the Centers for Disease Control wants to get everyone ready for the possibility of a nuclear war, but they don't want people to freak out quite yet. CDC officials will meet on January 16th in Atlanta to discuss personal safety measures and federal and local response team training for a nuclear detonation. Some of the presentation topics include preparing for the unthinkable and roadmap to radiation preparedness. But the CDC says the meeting is not tied to the recent tensions between the United States and North Korea. The planning for that meeting was set up last April. In consumer news tonight, a major security flaw affecting Apple's iPhones, tablets, and computers was not made known to the public until 6 months after Apple became aware of that issue. This after government agencies issued statements earlier this week warning users about the problems. An update has since been released to fix 2 major flaws in computer chips. David Price, the deputy editor of Macworld UK, says the company may have withheld releasing information in an effort to avoid tipping off hackers. JetBlue says that due to the recent corporate tax cut, the company will give its employees $21 million worth in bonuses. Each of JetBlue's 21,000 employees will all get a $1,000 bonus, except for the CEO and executive vice presidents. The company says the bonuses will be paid out by the end of February. The tax cut that went into effect on Monday slashes the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. American Airlines and Southwest Airlines are also giving $1,000 bonuses to all employees. And during a struggling time for retailers, this holiday season was very good to Florida vendors, as most experienced an increase in sales. Nationally, numbers were up between 5 and 6%, and that increase is the largest year-over-year gain since 2011. Topping the list was technology and appliance stores, with an increase of more than 10%, and online shopping setting new records.
Online sales continue to grow. Retailers should continue to embrace it. Online sales this year in particular were up 18%. So it shows you that they're going to continue to grow year in and year out. Being able to embrace and harness those sales in your stores is key.
The most popular gifts that shoppers bought this holiday season included iPhones, 4K TVs, and, of course, Star Wars toys. Well, stay with us. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
We made a TV show tonight, if you're into that sort of thing. I was in New York, and I have, like, one pair of, like, jeans, like a couple T-shirts, and a sweater. I was freezing to death in New York. Oh, my God. Oh, you poor baby. I know, it's really tough. this is...
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Now, sports.
The NFL playoffs kick off tomorrow with the wild card games. Only one Florida team making the postseason, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags will host the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. The team is back in the playoffs thanks to a dominant defense and a resurgent running game, thanks to rookie running back Leonard Fournette. The back rushing for more than 1,000 yards this season. And to say thank you to his offensive line for the blocking they gave him, he gave all of his offensive line new Rolex watches.
They know about it, you know what I mean? So
Just to show them the dedication and all the hard work they put in to help me to get where I'm at, and also for this team. You know, their hard work doesn't go unnoticed.
And an act of kindness by the Jacksonville Jaguars owner, who will donate 1,000 playoff tickets to refugees who were displaced by Hurricane Maria and are now settling in the Jacksonville area. The team will also donate 1,500 tickets to local military at a reduced cost of $20 per ticket for Sunday's game. And the Oakland Raiders are set to bring John Gruden back for a second time as coach. The Raiders are planning a news conference on Tuesday to announce that Gruden is leaving the broadcast booth to come back to coaching. The Raiders fired Jack Del Rio following a disappointing 6-win season, and talk immediately turned to Gruden. Gruden spent 4 years as coach for the Raiders before being dealt to Tampa Bay, where he beat Oakland in the Super Bowl following his first season in 2002. ESPN reporting that Gruden has agreed to a 10-year contract worth $100 million. Well, that's a look at your sports tonight. We'll have your winning lotto numbers when we come back.
Sarasota Institute of Lifetime Learning begins its 47th season on Monday, January 8th in Sarasota, Venice, and Lakewood Ranch. Meet Bruce Adolph, the piano puzzler for NPR, on Monday, January 8th, and Chris Inglis, former Deputy Director of the National Security Agency, on Tuesday, January 9th. 72 Global Issues lectures, 24 musical conversations. Subscriptions available now. Single event tickets at the door. For more information and to purchase season tickets, visit SILLSarasota.org.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference. Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, that Mega Millions drawing has a grand prize jackpot of $445 million. That's because there was no winner in Tuesday's drawing. If there is a winner tonight, it would be the 4th largest jackpot in Mega Millions history and the 13th largest in U.S. history. If the winner chooses the cash option, that would pay out just over $277 million. No one has won the Mega Millions jackpot since mid-October. Meanwhile, Saturday's Powerball jackpot has now reached $570 million. That means more than $1 billion is up for grabs over the next 2 days. And if you don't see us here at work on Monday, it's because we won. Just kidding. That's just a joke.
I was just coming so people wouldn't know I won yet. You know what I mean? It's just like, once you
in
win.
all your glory.
Yeah, no, but once you win, everyone knows it, and then they, hey, can I have a little bit of,
Yes.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, we had a vote online unofficially of the greatest photo of tonight's sunset, and Norm won, Norm Schimmel. That's right, although the first one I like too. But here's a look at the day planner for Saturday. We are looking for a little bit warmer temperatures. Highs will be in the upper 50s to low 60s. There'll be plenty of sunshine. It will be a cold start, though. Temperatures expected to be into the upper 30s to start things off on Saturday morning. Sunday, finally back to 70 degrees, so that'll be nice.
All right, looking forward to it.
Yes, indeed.
All right, thank you, Bob, and thank you all for joining us this evening. We'll see you back here on Monday, and have a great and warm weekend.
Yeah, nice relief.